So the first thing I wrote down here is it's important to clear the mental clutter and to allow the mystery to unfold. So I think about the things that we have happening in the world right now. There's so much uncertainty, and as humans, we want certainty. We want safety, security, and certainty, but all those things are up in the air right now. It's a massive mystery. It's meant for us to discover it, and no one's coming to help us. It's the process that we're doing that matters. What we will find is that we'll make discoveries along the way that we wouldn't otherwise. So if we're so set on an outcome and we try to force it, we all know that when we take the proper action and then basically, metaphorically maybe sit back and just let it unfold. Let this great mystery, this life-changing, humanity-changing cycle that we're in, as far as the 12,000 year cycle, the pole shifts are happening. It's a beautiful time to be here and let this unfold and flow how it's supposed to. It's always easier to go downstream than to fight upstream. So this is a good way to look at it. It's about everything that we learn along the way. This is a time to anchor in all the things that you know and all the work that you've been doing, all of the spiritual work, all of the trauma healing, and all of the taking care of your physical body. And this is a time for grounding, a time for anchoring. Okay, this is a time for alchemy, for exploration, and literally for balance. This is time for you to give back to yourself, time to enjoy what you have. Look at every single thing that you have, whether that's physical, relationship, job-wise, the things that you have. This is where we flow into gratitude and we flow into appreciation instead of lack or the unknown or the uncertainty or all the fear, right? And also then I wrote this, don't feel guilty. It's okay to give yourself solitude. Okay, this is really, really important for me in my life especially. Time to energetically secure yourself. Be willing to step fully away from the status quo. Many of us started doing this at the beginning of 2020. The things that everyone was doing, that was like the status quo at the time. And this is still happening. So in just different, maybe more subtle ways, maybe not so subtle in some places of the world. It depends on where you live. Zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because I think we get caught in these little microcosms of our lives, our families, our homes, our jobs, our communities. And while those are important to nurture and keep close, if we start to get overwhelmed by all the things happening, and especially if you're staying connected to the news, your social media, all the reels and all the podcasts and all the stuff that I think it can be good to let information in. Of course, there's that discernment world, but we get caught in these and we forget to step out and zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I've been talking about this for a few years now, but one of my favorite things to do when I start to feel a little bit overwhelmed by the circumstances and the energies that I can feel flowing around the world, I will literally sit in stillness for a minute. I like to be outside, even if it's just in my yard or somewhere that's outside. If it's cold, I'll bundle up, but go outside if you can and envision yourself, your consciousness above your body, and then above your house, and then above your neighborhood, and then above your city, above your state, above your country, and then literally envision what it feels like to be looking down on the earth. And you really get a perspective that you can hold this vision in your mind, but you get this perspective that makes everything look small in a way, in not a bad way. So zoom out always and look at the bigger picture. Get a bird's eye view. I think at this point, and then I wrote here, sitting on the fence is now self-imposed. I think if we're sitting on the fence about anything, it's now a self-imposed. We're doing that to ourselves. To me, it's very obvious. It feels like there's no sitting on the fence anymore. So we have to take a leap of faith. We have to realize that it's actually easier than we might think to soar than to just to stay small. I wrote this, release the thoughts that are causing you pain. Because they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. And we get to choose not only the thoughts we have, because if we recognize what we're doing, the loops we get in, we get to choose the emotions behind them.